Hey there, and welcome to a very special episode of the Melanated Midlife Podcast. Black women, the 92%, this episode is a love letter to you. I got a chance to sit down with one of my good friends, Shaina Glass, for a raw conversation about how we're navigating self-care in today's America. We delve into what it means to prioritize our emotional, mental, and physical health amidst the current political and ideological climate. Shaina shares her own personal journey and insights, offering a lot of practical tips that I think are going to resonate with a lot of you. So let's dive in and have this conversation about how Black women are resetting today in America. Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Melanated Midlife Podcast. You are going to sit in on just a conversation between grown folks because my guest today is actually not a stranger to me. This is one of my dearest friends, Shaina Glass. And we have, at the time of recording this, we're pulling all the curtain back. She just got back from a very relaxing family vacation, which I'm a little bit pissed about that, but that's okay. And so I asked her to come on and just talk about some things because you've been on a journey, I'll say figuratively, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, all those things. And over the years, you've given little tidbits about the growth that you're experiencing. But it's not just that. I mean, I kind of see what you're going through as a bit of adjacent to what all of us as Black women might be feeling and struggling with right now. So I wanted to talk about that. And honest to goodness, we're sitting here. I've got my, iPad because y'all know I have brain fog in the middle of my conversations. This is for real. But I don't even have notes for us to talk about because normally when it's a stranger, I'm asking and I'm learning. But I know a lot of this. Yes. So these folks are able to sit in. All the women that are watching this show are able to sit down and say, oh, yeah, I'm feeling that too. So this is what I wanted to talk about today. And when we sat down, I said, ooh, don't say nothing. We're going to record that. So anyway, welcome.
I'm glad to be here. Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen you, so it's just a catch up.
Yeah, I'm mad, but that's all right.
Don't be mad. I have some
She's
photos
been doing
to share.
other things.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Not
much.
So tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
So I am Shaina. I live here in the Houston. I live in the Houston area, but I work remote. I work for one of the largest nonprofits for teachers, for K-12 teachers, focused on those who teach computer science and STEM. Mm-hmm. So I work, and it's okay for me to say, I work for the Computer Science Teachers Association. I am the director of education. Mm-hmm. So been doing that now going on 4 years, over 20 years in education, K-12 education, with an emphasis in instructional technology and STEM, and dabbling a few things. Yeah, gain some things from different educational points. I do more with my passions and my joy, things that bring me joy, than just how I help support learners. Adult learners. Yeah, adult learners.
And see, but you didn't get there just overnight. It took a lot of self-discovery and things to get you to that point. So we actually, our relationship started because of education. That's where we both come from.
It comes from nudges, and I mentioned this earlier. I'm not gonna say I'm not a go-getter, but sometimes people see things in you that you don't see in yourself. Mm-hmm. And those nudges are okay. And that has helped me in my progression of self-discovery, both professionally, and now, because of all of that, I'm now doing a lot more self-discovery personally. Because I've given a lot of myself in my journey, where I focus more, I call it a triangular effect, where there's self, family, and profession.
Yeah. And how do they rank,
Ooh.
Think about that.
Okay, so I don't rank them. I have them in a triangle.
Okay.
I try in a triangle. But sometimes it may become more obtuse on the professional side than on the personal, on self and family.
Yeah.
Right. And then I say probably in the last 3 to 5 years, it's been more on the family and professional and very acute
Yeah.
on self, where I almost even forgot. What helped me reel myself back in is I was looking into therapy and like looking to be able to talk to someone about, okay, why am I off? What is my why is my disposition off? Why am I feeling like I'm feeling, which was almost a form of depression. And I can just be honest, it was depression.
Yeah. Put it out there.
But it was, this isn't fulfilling me, like professionally. Like I can even say now, like everywhere I go, people are like, you are always on the road. You are always traveling. Well, I work nationally. So I work across all time zones. We bring educators together from all over the country multiple times a year. And I have to travel. Yeah. I am forward facing. But I'm not always traveling. But for many, from the naked eye, they're like, you're always on the road. You're always on. Okay, it gets old quick. I remember talking to you about it, like we were tag teaming. Yeah. Okay, where are you?
Which airport are you at today? Oh, girl, I'm about
Are you delayed too?
That was real because, I was talking about my corporate job previously, that it was a traveling job. So I was a Gulf Coast, as far as that was my territory. So from Texas over to Alabama. And the places that I was flying into, which they were, and I will say that was one treat, is that they were beautiful spaces. So there were parts of rural Mississippi, parts of rural Arkansas that were just gorgeous. But to get to those places, it was either a train, lonely plane, stretch along I-10, or I was flying into these teeny tiny regional airports where one time we had a delay. And it was one specific regional airport where the plane, it was some mechanical trouble. And they literally came on the speaker or whatever, the PA system, and said, oh, the mechanic is gone home. The mechanic has gone home for the day. And so, and it was like, whoa, there's not a team. So, so it was just like either he shows up to do it or y'all gonna have to come back tomorrow.
You can't call him back? Like, okay. Well, he'll be back in 2 hours.
He'll be back. He's taking a break.
No.
But I want to actually go back a little bit because this is recent history.
Yeah.
But go back a little bit to who you were previously, because you said eventually you started seeking out therapy.
Yes.
So tell me what it was like to get you to that point. Like, I think I need a change.
So for me, I constantly said, I'm a learner. And I am. I am a constant learner. I feel like I just need more, right? So I was constantly seeking. It was a thrill to like, let me go see if I can gain that knowledge and how am I going to utilize it. And for me, I can't hold it. So now that I have it, I have to share it, which also helped in my progression, right?
Because you were a teacher.
Yes. Yeah. So I learned something new. Let me share it with the world.
Yeah.
I've done podcasts. I had websites. I've had a brand. I had the following. I had all of the things. And it was just exciting. Okay, I got to go from one to the next, one to the next, one to the next. And then I got to a point to where, okay, now I need to, I've seen myself transition from I need more to let me help others gain what I have, right? Not just teaching them, but helping them go out and find their voice. I had done that. I have my voice now. I am utilizing my voice. I am modeling that. But I don't need to be the one out there to just be that voice. Yeah, you look so surprised because that was me.
That was you. That was you. Because we would have those conversations like, Shaina, do you have to be the one to do the thing?
Do you have to do everything?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I've come to the realization, no. Period. No. I know that's huge.
Yeah. No. So, rewind that. No. Period.
Yes. No, I do not have to be the one to be the everything. And it comes, I on my team, I have a couple people on my team and that I manage, which I do find difficulty in seeing that I manage people, but I see myself in them. And I see that hunger of like, oh, just say it and I'm there. I can go do it. I can do it. Do you have to be the one to go do all the things?
Yeah, yeah.
How much capacity do you have? Leadership isn't just about you being that face. It's about you building up others so that they can feed themselves.
Yeah.
Right. So when I got to that point, I was like, well, where's my joy? Because that brought me, it was an adrenaline. It was like I was in it and I wanted more. It was what was bringing me the joy. Joy, right?
You with us as teachers, we get that dopamine hit from seeing us pass that knowledge or that inspiration on to another person.
The impact.
Yeah.
The impact. Impact isn't always that you just influence others. Impact can be watching others grow.
Yeah.
From the support that you're giving them, from the guidance. You don't always have to be on the stage talking to people to give them that.
Yeah.
You can help groom. You can go have a garden and you can groom many to do that. And then my mindset started to shift. I was like, well, since I'm not doing that, what else? And so I started looking to the left and right, and I was like, only so much a mother can do with their children. I was giving so much, and I'm tired of sitting in the parking lot, tired of being sweaty in the pool. Like I'm tired of just
you
watching.
Were swim mom.
Yes, so the early days, the late days, all the days, the every day. I was like, but what about me? Right? What brings me that joy? What is it that lightens me outside of my laptop's off, work is done, I'm not taking any meetings. Okay, kid is okay, she can do, and she's independent enough to do for her. Hubby he is. What about me?
How long did you have to sit with that question?
I've been in therapy 3 years.
Okay, all right.
I mean, yeah. And a lot of it was just my personality I give to so many others. And I spent a lot of time pointing out, looking that way versus this way. And finally she was like, okay, so we're going to flip this.
Yeah.
And here's the mirror. Let's talk. Because all you're doing is talking about how you do all of these things for everyone else. What is it that brings you joy? Not just makes you happy, because I learned to define that that's different.
Whoa. Okay, hang on. Give me the cheat code, because you're right.
Yeah.
It is different.
Happiness is instantaneous. It's something that, okay, I went on vacation. I'm happy. Being with family brought me joy. Right? It's something that is sustainable. Something that you can carry with you.
Yeah.
It's not something a coffee makes you happy. Right? Right?
Yes.
That caffeine may give you joy.
You gonna stop attacking my coffee.
But the coffee is something, that was delicious. And you move on. 2 hours later, you may be pissed off. You gonna go get another coffee? Possibly. But that's not longevity.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so and I think about, everything that you're saying, the giving, the supporting, the nurturing. And my first layer of understanding is that, of course, we're educators, and as you say, you're working in a big nonprofit. I am, my educating is still with me. I'm doing it through a digital means these days. But yeah, I think that that's us as teachers. Yeah. But then I'm thinking about the larger demographic of Black women in America right now. And I bet whoever engineer, this bakery owner, this, person, who name all the different people that have across the career spectrum, they're probably nodding their heads right now saying, oh yeah, we do that.
It's
as
more
all
so
of us.
about your strengths. So like, we did a strengths finders activity or test at work. And it kind of opened my eyes to, yeah, this is really who you are. It's not just that I was an educator. It is, I'm a nurturer. I'm a connector, right? Looking at what I actually bring to the table as my skills that help strengthen the organization or the company or whatever I'm in. That's what we as Black women can see.
Right.
What strengths do you have? Which kind of goes to what you do too, right? It's about understanding what you bring to the table. What is on your plate?
Yeah.
Not the work, not all of the things, but what are your strengths that you bring, those skills that you bring to the table, that you carry with you, that may have been passed down from generations. You know,
Yeah.
being that nurturer, that's you take care of others before you take care of yourself. We as Black women do that quite well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You never look at yourself.
I feel like collectively in this country, we're all at that, I don't know, like a precipice of we've done so much. We've done it outwardly. And, at the time that we're recording this, there is a lot of political shifting that is happening. But Black women specifically, we all kind of got together, and I won't even say got together, but shared the message that, we taking a break.
Yes, it's not for us to something, and this has happened to me numerous times over the last few years, and I actually said it to someone recently. It's not my problem to fix.
Yeah.
Like, I've fixed enough.
We fixed a lot.
You have seen me fix a lot. I'm not fixing this.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm going to step out and I'm going to observe. I'm going to stand back and watch this tennis match versus being in it because it's not mine to fix.
Yeah.
Even if I can, because most likely I could. I could give you the solution, but you should have to come up with the solution. Others should come up with the solution
It
to
can
fix
be
the
a team
problems.
sport.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, but it doesn't have to fall back on this Black woman
Yeah, it
over
does
here.
not. It doesn't.
I can
Oh.
step back. It shouldn't not fall on my back. My health also became a factor. I was like, I went to the doctor. I remember I had to do something really, really hard at work. And that day that I had to do it, I was like, I'm just going to do this situation. And then I'm going to go to the doctor. Which is not a good mix. And my blood pressure was through the roof. And she was like, are you okay? I was like, well, I had to do this. Oh my goodness. Maybe you should come back. And I was like, no. She was like, I was like, no situation should dictate my health, right? Regardless of the hard things I have to do in my day job.
Yes.
I should be fine to come and see you.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me I have to come back because it's way out of control.
Every time I have a bad day, this is what I do. Yeah, no, it shouldn't be that way.
Exactly. And she was like, well, just calm down. I was like, okay.
Yeah, because that works so well. Telling somebody to calm down.
I'm going to come back in a few minutes. Sure. And then she was like, okay, well, you're going to have to figure this out. And it wasn't like you need medication. How do you handle situations that impact your health?
Okay, I want to hear what realizations you've come to.
I've come to the realization that fresh air works. Fresh air helps. Creating spaces that give you that. Like I start my morning now with meditation. I stretch. I actually started on the Peloton. Like, okay, don't tell. I mean, this is being recorded, but don't tell my husband. But I really like it. So like I'm doing the things that.
You got the bike or the tread?
The bike.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Now I have a similar thing. I've been it's a competitor.
Yeah.
That I've been getting on, and yes, I do like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's that means we can compete.
We can figure out something.
Yeah. Well, it's not necessarily compete, but it motivates me knowing that there's other women.
Yeah.
We all in the same boat, and we all are trying to accomplish this goal. Right before, like a week ago, there was this underground. It probably wasn't underground, but it was underground to me, which was Girl Trek. They did a call. I think I texted it to you.
Yes.
And they had, in a matter of minutes, for this to be underground, and people just passed word of mouth, 4,700 people, 4,700 Black women got on this call to make a commitment that they were going to work and do for themselves to extend their lives. Because Black women, we have the data shows that we live 10 years shorter. We have a 10 years shorter life expectancy because of the stress
that we
carry. And I was like, I'm not going to be that statistic.
We're not going, and there was somebody else that was a guest here on the podcast, another friend in our circle, Tamara, who she was a guest from season 1. And one thing that she has always repeated for her journey, her career journey, as far as educating and the stress that came with it, and her thing was, I will not die in this classroom. And
Which
to
is
get to a
crazy.
point where you have to say that to yourself out loud, what kind of stress have you been pushing down?
In a place where you should be, it should bring you joy. I used to say, my little mantra was, I have the honor of working in my passion,
Yes.
right? I'm in my purpose, right? And I'm like, okay, yes, but my purpose doesn't have to kill me.
Yeah.
Like I should be able to enjoy what I do and enjoy who I am
Yeah.
all at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I should be able to turn off and
live
live life.
Did you see my brain with the delayed reaction?
But you should.
It hit me about 3 seconds too late. But say that again. What I do in
What I enjoy, what I do in my job, I should have joy in it. But it should also be that I'm able to have joy in just being me. I should be able to have joy in both.
Yeah.
I can walk in my purpose. Like, this is what God had planned for me. This is what, like Mom said, yeah, you here to educate folks. Okay, young, old, older, that I can do.
Yes. Yes.
But that does not have to be my end all be all. Like, I started thinking, because my parents are a little older, and I am almost at that sandwich point. But like, my mom mentioned something about her obituary or something. It was like real brief.
Yeah.
But then I was like, thought about mine. I was like, what will it say? What will it say? Is it just going to be all these people from work coming to see me? Will it just be that? Like, is it just going to be, well, she was great, she really cared? Or is it going to be vast? Like, am I touching different aspects of my being versus just, I just give to this? No, I should. You only have, like, I mean, it's not the young folks, but YOLO, you only live once.
It's true. It's true.
You know, we were talking this with my siblings. We were talking about every breath you take, you deteriorate, right? Your oxygen is also killing you.
Yeah.
So how do you use each one? Because it shortens your life. So live it.
Yeah. And thinking back to, I mean, we've had a lot of conversations just about when we have those epiphanies of, this is not going to be what defines me, or is this what I want to put my energy towards right now? And I'm very curious for you. Like they said, you're on your journey.
I am.
You have signed up for all the things
I have.
to help yourself. So if you are looking at who you are right now, and I know that everything's still evolving, go back 5-7 years.
Okay.
What would you tell Shaina of 5-7 years ago?
Don't be afraid to step into the unknown. Because if you recall, ironically, you saying 5 years ago, if you recall, I was like, I remember telling my mom this too. I told you, I was like, I'm not finished. I have to finish what I started. I'm in the middle of this. I started it. How can you just walk away from it? Don't be afraid. I would tell myself, I would sit myself down. You have to set boundaries. Like, not hearing Akila tell me that, because you did tell me.
I know, yeah, and that's just,
But, yeah.
it didn't matter until you were ready to hear that.
Yeah.
And that's not for me to tell you to do.
No, but you was like,
yeah.
It was the still the questions.
Right.
But looking back, I would definitely sit myself down and tell myself, it's okay to set boundaries. Understand what that is. Like, I had to research boundaries. I had to read what that meant. People, I mean, it felt like it's almost like a fad. Like, it just came about. Like, it just But no, it came about to me. It was, you're right. It was 100%. When it's your time to recognize it, then you own it. Don't just look at it and be like, oh, the word boundary, what does this mean?
Yeah.
No, what does that mean to you in every aspect? What are you willing to do? And how far are you willing to go beyond it?
Yeah.
In a lot of different aspects. Like, I could set a boundary for this, but maybe that boundary on this side is for me to push through. Right.
And, I remember, and this was back to that. Here we go. Going back to that exact same time frame. And I know we had that specific conversation, and you said I'm not finished. I want to,
I got to finish this up. I got to do what I started. I mean, how can I just leave it?
And I remember, because I was going through my own thing.
Yes, and you didn't say anything.
I
want
said
the world to
bit.
know.
I said a little
but it
bit.
was so sparse.
And I think
then it was like, I'm leaving. I was like,
I'm making a change.
The hell?
But it's like, because I remember my my journey. I don't want to say, because you do the best that you can do at the time.
Yeah.
And my thing, I didn't realize it then, but I had followed the good girl rule follower trope my entire life. So you get the grades, you get the degree, you go as far as you can with your education. People tell you to do XYZ, you do XYZ times 10.
Right.
And you get to a point where you're just like, okay, I have followed all the rules that other people have set. And why don't I feel better?
Because it wasn't yours.
Yeah. And maybe it was.
Well, you didn't set your own rules, right?
Yeah. And it's like at that time, like you said, the going into the unknown, my fear was like, but the path said this. If I go off the path, I don't know what the hell is coming.
Yes.
It's scary over there.
Yes.
And then you get to, I guess, in a more evolved state of mind where you realize that it's over there where you start to learn and grow in different ways that you don't expect.
Yes.
See.
100. As you was talking, I was in like something that actually changed in that process too was that's when I started doing vision. Like it was right after that I started doing vision boards.
Love the vision
and
boards.
I remember I was like,
I'm gonna cut you off for 2 seconds. That is something that we have looked forward to every year because your birthday is at the end of the year.
Yes.
And the way you celebrate your birthday
is a new year.
Yeah, you do a whole vision board party.
Yes.
And when I think, was it during COVID when we were doing it?
Yes, it was during COVID.
So it was virtual.
Because I sent stuff to people's houses. I was like, here's some juice and some champagne.
You had a playlist. It's like, all right, everybody, go to your virtual corner. Yes. And I'd be like, this is fun. Why can't we do this every day?
Yes. But I just remember that first year when you did it. You was like, okay. And he was like, damn it, I didn't do anything on this vision board. And the next year, he was like, I came up with a plan. I'm going to be more intentional. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do, I'm going to do. And I'm going to break this down. I'm going to make sure I get this done. And now we're sitting here because this was on that list.
This was on that list.
This was on this list. And I was like, even the move.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you crazy.
Yeah.
No, we are. We are. Garage sale.
That's right.
And I was like, you was like, it's on my board.
It's real.
It's in my journal. I'm doing it. I'm reflecting. I'm reflecting. I got my stickers.
Yeah.
But that too, on mine, like I keep it up. I look at it. The only thing on there is the money. I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
But everything else, I see myself actually doing. Like I'm walking through the process. I don't even need my therapist is like, do you really need the board? And I was like, actually, I guess I don't. I know what it is I want and I'm gonna go after it. And I am. Even if it's baby steps. I used to be like, okay, I'm just gonna do a little step. No, consistent. Make it a ritual. Start to do it to where it becomes a part of you. Yeah. Where you miss it. Like I was gone all week. I did close my rings every day this week, but I didn't ride the bike. And I was like, as soon as I leave here, I'm going to get on the bike. I'm going to go back home and I'm going
Yeah.
to get on the bike. Like I missed it even, which has never been a part of my vernacular at all.
Yeah. I hear you.
But I mean, like, I need that. It's a release. It's like, it's now becoming a ritual. It's becoming a part of what brings me joy. And it's been a long time. You asked me earlier, when did you get to a point to where you knew what it was? From 3 years ago to now, I can make a list of things that bring me joy, things I identify, that bring, like you brought up Tam earlier. She sees beauty in the most obscure places. That brings me joy too, to be able to look out and see things.
Yeah.
My family, like not just my family, like not my nucleus, but that brings me joy. Storytelling.
Yeah.
Brings me joy. Oh, I was mentioning to someone, I mentioned one of my sorors, and I was like, something I want to do is I want to tell other stories through photographs, through images. We have them all on our phones, but we don't utilize them. And what other better way than to actually come up with a process on how families can, because they're trying to destroy, like right now in this time as this is being recorded, it's all about breaking apart
Yes.
African American communities, breaking apart the history, refusing for us to acknowledge who we are. That's going to be something lost in 10 years.
Very quickly.
Very quickly, especially in education. And education doesn't have to be what's in a history book. We all are history. But who's going to remember their grandparents? And, who's going to remember those things?
Who's going to be the griot?
If you don't tell it.
Yeah.
You could do it through food, like whatever, but create the books to tell the story. And they was like, you should do it. And I was like, that's not going to make any money. But why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it make money?
But
why wouldn't it make money?
You hit on something right there, because so much of what is capturing the memories is digital right now. And I can say that even right now, because we've had Google accounts and other stuff for as long as they've existed. And I still now, when I'm going back and I'm searching for something like picture of the dog or whatever, and I'll see, oh my God, in 2005 the boys were this age and we were living in this house, and there's no way that I would have a way. Yeah, not that I
can't
just
told a
flip through
story
it.
of your vacation.
Yeah,
and your son looked at you like, when was that?
Yeah, he didn't even remember.
But if you have the images. Like I'm gonna tell the story and put captions with it, where you actually read, where it becomes a living history book.
Yeah.
But you can keep those, and tell your family stories so that you never forget them.
And I'll even go the opposite side of that spectrum, because I'm in a mode of teaching people about letting go and decluttering physical things in your space is a big part of that, because so many folks, they talk about our move and how we downsize. And I said, if some folks get hung up on just that one piece that you packed up and you moved someplace. I said, but before that, the whole process and the whole mindset shift of letting go of some physical things that I thought I needed was a big piece of it. And I'm thinking about pictures specifically because I had big rubber totes of just big albums. And I talk about the boys with their school picture packets.
Yeah.
And you buy those packets, you get the biggest packet because you think, oh, I'm going to send this to all the family and I'm going to put this in the Christmas cards. And then fast forward like me 15 years later, and I'm finding their first grade pictures. And I'm like, I remember paying good money for these pictures, and I gave away 4 of them. Yeah. And the rest are sitting here. And so it's like, this was something where I was like, but I don't want to let it go because they look so adorable. And I'm like, let me cut my one picture, put it in a frame or in an album, and I can let the rest of this go. But that's just one of the things. And so I think about, everything that we as Black women right now are having to offload, both mentally and emotionally, post a period when we rallied together to get a specific result in this country or politically, economically, and it fell short. And I'm quick to remind everybody that it wasn't for nothing.
No.
We didn't get the outcome, and some of us, I don't want to make assumptions about everybody, but I know that we didn't do all that for nothing.
Yeah.
But when it didn't come up with a certain result, we all had a collective watershed moment where we were just like, you know what? It's not just up to us.
Yeah.
And in the point, the time frame that we were literally carrying whatever the goals of this country on our backs, and
Trying
it
to
fell
get across
short,
the finish line.
trying to get across the finish line, we had to sit back and say, wait a second, were we the only ones?
Yes. Was it, why? Is it just me?
Was it just us?
Am I the one holding this big weight?
Yeah.
Like, am I like literally at the finish line?
Yeah, you go back and you look at some of the data and the analytics, and you're just like, oh wait, yeah, we might have been the only ones pushing this. So okay, which amongst
out.
friends, we started saying, "Girl, we on break."
Yes. Yes.
Give me
The
about
92%.
Yeah, 92% of us, we are taking a
Yes.
collective break. And in that, there's been so many rich conversations like what you're reflecting on right now, where we're like, what do I need to do for me?
Right now, on this break, as you put it, I'm going to take care of my health, both mental and physical. That's something that's something you can control. I can control my health. I can control the decisions and the choices that others are making, which is really hard because it's always been, let me help you figure out how to make those decisions. Others, right? That's
Yes.
my part of my role is, okay, I can fix it. I can fix it. But my current boss, he says, sometimes it's not always about fixing it. Sometimes it's okay for it to break so it can be put back together, so it can be remade so it can be healed. Like it's not always about fixing this problem. You got to let it fall apart so that it can be put back together. And I was like, that's really hard when you see the solution. You may, but it's not just about you. You know, it may take a village to see it. So let's see, you're in it. Maybe if you don't want to be hurt, right? Remove yourself and just watch.
Yeah. This is
Which is really hard.
It's hard because like us, and if there's anybody that is watching this right now that is not a Black middle-aged woman, they might be saying, oh my God, do they all feel this way?
And why?
And why? And I just want to take a moment to pull the curtain back and say, there's a lot of situations where we culturally, throughout the history of this country, where we do feel like we've carried that load, where we have been struggling, we've been the strong one, we've made it happen in spite of, and like I said, watershed moment where we're starting to realize that, wait a second, there's nobody coming to save me.
Right.
There's nobody that has my back.
Right.
So I need to pay attention to how much I can control.
Yep.
What is truly going to bring me joy? And what is it that I truly want to see said or experienced at the end of my days? You know, do I want to say that I showed up for everybody and it landed me in this grave? Or did I show up for myself and even greater things were able to happen?
Yeah. Crazy enough, like just in the moment, right after the election, the next morning when we all woke up, you know, it's kind of like the reverse of the Obama moment. When everybody's like, well, I'm going to the store, you know, like that little pep. Well, it wasn't that little pep, but it wasn't like detrimental. Like I'm falling apart like the first iteration. And it actually came from my child. And I just, that moment heard like, well, you do know, like she was trying to dance around singing who won the election, but we all knew, right? In that moment, I was like, oh, so now here comes the strategy. This is what, like, I wasn't like, people were upset. There were tears. It was all kinds of stuff. In my house, I was like, so strategically, we must educate. You're going to walk out of here. You're going to have what you need to be able to do what you have to do. because this is about to be dismantled.
Right.
But they won't dismantle us. Right? So it's about how can this is what's next for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I'm going to take care of me and mine.
Yeah.
Because what this showed in that moment, that water cooler moment, what that showed is I have to take care of me and mine.
Yeah.
Start with me, because you got to put your mask on before you put a mask on for somebody else. But
didn't we always hear that?
Yeah, but I never did it.
Yeah.
Never did it. And something my therapist also told me about that is you have to remember who else is going to take care of you. Like start with, okay, yes, of course they say put yours on first.
Right.
But you also have to remember who told you to take the lead? Who told you that you had to?
Ooh,
because
that finger is going to come back this way.
Who told you that you had to solve the problem?
Yes.
Like, why do you feel like why are you the solution?
Mm-hmm.
What made you that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you realize you did.
Yeah. What did you commit yourself to when nobody asked? Or maybe they were asking and expecting, and you, like you said,
you just felt like you had to.
You felt like you had to, and that one powerful word that you were scared to use, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we all, I think, and again, making generalizations.
Well, what if you say no? Because that was the other part. I was
what
like,
happens
well, if I
on
say
the other side of no?
Yeah, because if I say no, I may not get another opportunity.
They're not going to like me. They're going to be mad at me and not going
to they'll replace me.
They won't invite me back at the table.
Well, you're already doing the other 18 things at the table. You are at the table. You don't have to do the 19 and 20. you are at the table. You just don't need to do 21 through 40. You can do the 1 through 18, and you already got those.
Yeah.
You don't have to do everything.
And what about, in thinking about the strength, the education, the innovation and resilience of Black women, period, we can build that table to be for us. And it would be, I'm having a moment. My words aren't matching where my thoughts are going.
No, but I'm with you, because that is my scary part right now. That is, okay, yeah, I have the things that I can do, that I have the skill sets that I can bring. But do I bring this to someone's table, or do I build my own? And it's that part. I went to a conference. I brought this up to you before, but I went to this conference, and it was everybody I walked into was a funder, and I was like, "This is wow! It's us. Everybody in here. It's us. Like it's us. It's all the melanated folks, and y'all in here with money.
Yeah.
And you just want me to know what my idea is.
Yep.
Maybe I'm in the wrong place. Why?
Yeah.
Okay, what got you in this room? You didn't have to push or shove or maneuver or manipulate. This is where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
What is it that you want to do? And one guy I met, he was like, well, let's find time to talk to figure out what that is. Don't be afraid of it. We all have those skills. Yeah. We all have that plate. Not what others put on this plate, but your own. What is on your plate that fulfills you?
Yes.
Right? And that plate needs to go on your table. You don't have to always fill your plate with all the things that you're talking about, and place it on the table that's already created. And then you got to make space, or you hoping that someone makes space for you. Right?
And I'll say one of the worst case, there are two worst case scenarios that come to my mind. Number one, that you have these gifts and they never come out into the world. They die with you. The other one is that you put these things out into the world and you try to make it fit somebody else's mold. That's another heartbreaking thing. And I feel like we're at that moment, like you say, we're realizing that we can do some things, not for others, but we can do some things for ourselves. And that's where some of the conversations I feel are starting to go within the Black community is where we're looking internally, where our products are being pulled off the shelves.
Oh my gosh.
Certain programs are being dismantled and defunded.
Yeah.
And there's like this collective outcry, like, how can they do this to us? Or
Why can't you do it yourself?
What can we do for ourselves? And don't Bitmore have the answers from me, but I feel like if enough of us keep pushing and asking that question.
We have our own dollar. Like Roland Martin, right? I wasn't looking at all the things. I was trying to keep my sanity by not watching, right? All the things.
Same.
But it just fell on me. Like, oh, you already have your dollar. Just put your dollar here versus giving that dollar to them. We all have the skills.
Yeah.
You know it. You know we do.
Yeah.
We already have everything we need. Just trust it. Just trust.
Trust it.
And put it here and let us grow our own.
Let us build, grow, develop, evolve our own. So many layers to that. And I'm going to ask you, because we've kind of gone everywhere, and I want to, bring this back to that same question about, looking at yourself 5-7 years ago. I want you to look at yourself 5-7 years ahead. And where is that version of you?
Oh, that version of myself is hopefully successfully within my own. Like whatever that will be, whatever God has in store, because I am a believer that I don't know my path. I mean, I know the skill sets that I possess. I know what my passions are. I know what my purpose is, but I know I'm on a journey. So in 5 years, Lord, my house will be paid off. My child will be in college. I will be in a different place, I believe. Most likely not here in this state. If this country.
I hear you.
But I will be in a place where anything that I do will be produced by me for others. It won't be me doing that for someone else, like underneath another something.
Going through another filter.
Yes. Yeah. It will be my production. It will be under just solely me. And I can look back at myself and say, thank you for stepping out and building it. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
It's very scary though.
Heck yeah.
It is extremely scary. Like just that whole table part. Because I've heard myself say this, and many people have told me, if you had a table, I would come to your table over this table many times. And I'm like, what in the world? Why would you do that? And they were like, why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Like, I will follow you now. Like, if you did it, and for me, I don't want a rectangular. I want a round. Like, I feel that we should have a shared voice when whatever table that's built. We should all be a collective. Yeah. I'm big on collective impact. So let's do it. Like I'm learning what I mentioned to you earlier, off camera, looking at building coalitions. Like this is the time. This is the time to start really being strategic and looking at what our purpose is. Like if you know what it is, don't just say it. Walk in it. Walk in your purpose. Like trust it. Ooh, and I'm talking to myself, but trust it. Yeah. Trust it. And it is very, like this, the next 2 years will probably be a lot more of that for me.
Okay.
The next 2 years.
That's a very short runway, but at the same time.
That doesn't mean I'm leaving everything. But I'm building what that would look like.
Because the way I see 2 years time frame is literally what you're doing this week is leading towards something within the next. Now, if people say, what am I doing in the next 10, 15 years? There's a whole different version of yourself in 10, 15 years. But 2 years?
Yeah, I do. I see, like, even sitting here in this conversation, I brought up some ideas and I was like, as you were talking, I can see myself, like, just do it. I'll model it for myself. Like, to test it, do it. and see what this looks like and how this feels, what that process is like, and how do you build that process for others? That's all it is to me.
Yeah.
Like it should be that natural that whatever you're doing, it's a part of you.
Yeah.
Like we can live that life. I hear that people in other countries, they live like that, where it's just seamless. It's organic, and I am one of that, where I kind of just want to go with it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't go with it. Don't block it.
Don't just talk about it.
Yeah. Don't block your blessings. Just go with it. It'll open. The door open. You'll just keep moving, and it'll work itself out.
And same type of euphemism, the path will reveal itself.
Yes,
if you just start moving forward.
Yes.
And I'm probably jacking up. There's a quote about that somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody go put it in the comments. Girl, that's so-and-so that said that. It was like, all right, good.
I know, but I get you. Because I feel the same. I feel like I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like, just trust the journey. Trust. And it took a long time to get to that point. But I feel like I couldn't get there until I recognized, again, everything isn't centered in doing somebody else's job, right? Like, yeah, I have a job. My job is my profession. It's not like I'm an hourly employee just doing some stuff. I really do enjoy what I do. But is this my end all be all?
Yeah.
Nah, it's a preparation.
Yeah.
I am in the position I am to learn all the skills I can for whatever comes next. Let me build on that so that I can just keep moving in the direction that I'm supposed to go.
Speaking of vision board, and I'm going to ask you for your final thoughts in a second, because one of the vision board parties that you had, I cut out this one picture, and it was from a fitness magazine. And I remember it saying that make sure the goals and the dreams that you set for yourself are so huge that you have to grow into the type of woman that can reach that goal. And I kept that. And it just recently, within this past, because I keep all the journey, I go back and I look at them and everything just to see, because sometimes you need that boost to see how far you've come. And that's it. And I think about today, and I ain't doing nothing fabulous, let me say that.
You are.
Well, and I'll say that maybe it's not curing cancer, but what I am doing today, who I was 5, 7, 10 years ago, that person couldn't have done it. She was too scared.
Yeah.
She was too careful. She was, like I said, rule follower.
Very cautious.
And very cautious, and was still finding her voice. And this version of me today is preparing me for whoever that chick is way in the future that I truly believe is going to do some incredible stuff. I'm not there yet. And I recognize that self-awareness to recognize like you've got a lot of growing to do. If you think you can be that person, you get your stuff together now. You start being intentional and strategic right now. So I think about the people that are watching this, and they probably, in this whole conversation, just all in it, talking about what point are they making? Who are they talking to? So I want you to speak directly to that midlife Black woman who is at a crossroads right now, who is feeling all the things that we've talked about at this point in history. What words of wisdom can you offer those women?
The one thing that you said that I definitely would encourage is to dream big. Make your dreams, what you said, because I'm thinking in two parts. I think about, you said where you were 5 to 7 years ago. What you're doing now would be preparing you then, right? The things that are being said even here would be preparing you to be able to have that conversation with you then. But what you're doing today is preparing, you're creating dreams that you couldn't even prophesize, right? You are creating, you don't know what it is, but make the statement, put it out there. Like I'm saying, I'm going to walk the journey. I see the light. I was listening to something before we took off, Felicia Rashad. They were like, you are like the epitome of the woman that we all want to be.
Yes.
And you carry that. And she said, there's no weight to light, right? When you are the light, there is no weight. Be that, create the dream, whatever, not even the dream, create the reality in the light that you see. So create, like, step out, step into it, like, write it, like you said. And right now I'm on this kick of write it, hear it, listen to it, and engage in it. So right now, this is a really big thing in my ecosystem. Right now is where we create the spaces where you can hear it, you can read it, you can watch it, and you can engage in it. So write it. It's so weird because it's so. I wouldn't have put it in that context, but it is very fitting that as we've been sitting here talking, I can see the finished product. I can see what I want to produce that could be a game changer for so many. It's over there, right? But it's way bigger than what I would not, the 5 to 7 years ago, I would never even fathom that it would be a thought that I would do that.
Yeah.
That I could see myself. And it's completely different from what I'm doing right now. It's nowhere near, but it would touch even more. Like I would reach so many more, and it will continue to educate. It's the education, but in a different context. And I'm excited about it. Maybe I needed to be here today just to see it.
Hey.
Because I've not seen it. I mean, I envision what, and I've learned that too, that I'm a visionary.
Yes, you are.
So ironically talking about vision boards. But I am a visionary. So owning that and setting the stage. And I just encourage anyone listening to this to just set your sights. First, remember, don't forget who you are. If you don't know, just start small to figure out, oh, this brought me joy. I got that from Tam. You don't have to make stuff big. You have to go out like I used to paint. I want to paint. No, not I want to paint. Paint, right? Start small. Remember who you are, because it takes you back on your journey of what you really want to do. It's not about school, what you learned in school, what you got in your degree, and all of the certifications and all of the things. It's not those things. It's the joy within you. It's not the happiness. It's not what you get in that moment.
Yeah.
That's not that sip of whatever, that caramel, whatever. It's not that. It's not that much.
She's going to stop attacking my coffee.
But it's not the momentary happiness. It's what really brings joy into your life.
Yeah.
Something I had a special interview with a woman named Glow. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but she was helping with some stuff at work. And then she was like, what are your values? Like, do you have your own personal values? And I was like, I don't think I've ever done that before. She was like, when you identify those, then you'll remember your joy. Like, it'll help you identify what brings you joy.
Okay.
So what are your values? And I was like, oh, she's like, you should have values for everything. You should have your own personal values. You have values for your children. You should have values in your marriage. But when you know what those are, it centers you on a direction that will bring you joy.
Right.
And then you'll start to see all the things that do. And hopefully it aligns with everybody else, but it don't have to, right? Like, meaning like maybe your children, you all have the same, but maybe not.
Yeah.
It could be just you, but that's going to propel you to keep taking those steps.
I love that. Okay. Well, I will say that, having this conversation, we truly made this a very, very just raw, organic, just talking and just flip the cameras on kind of. But you actually are available to talk about these things on a bigger stage. So how will people get in touch with you if they want you for speaking engagements, things like that?
So I am on LinkedIn directly under my name, just Shaina Victoria Glass. I am also on Instagram and I'm on Facebook. And I'll make sure to provide you with my link. I have one singular link that just gets you to all of my connecting points. So you can follow me on all the social. Okay. I no longer do X. I have to admit I had to drop that one. But other than that,
I had to break my lease with X.
I had to remove myself from X. But other than that, I am easily accessible.
Very good. I think this is a worthy conversation. So I appreciate you being here, even though I don't know where thought we were going to go with it.
No.
I think it was good. And one thing I will say, just from us telling a little bit of our story, is that I hope everybody, even if you're not, because we had a moment, a few months ago when, like I said, politically, I think emotionally, we kind of all hit a bit of a wall. But like you said, out of that, we started talking about us. What are we doing about us ourselves? Not even as friends. I'm
checking in.
I'm checking in on you, but at the same time, I'm like, how are you taking care of you today?
Yes.
Not what can I do?
Don't sit in the fear.
Yeah.
Everything that's going on right now is to drive and elevate fear, but don't let it overtake you. Don't let it hinder your health.
Yes.
Don't let it mess with your mental and physical psyche and spirit. Be strategic. If you hear something that deviates you, come back to self.
Course correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pivot, right?
Pivot. That's my favorite word.
Pivot back to self, though. Don't pivot to the left or to the right.
Yeah.
Look internally, because you can guide yourself. You can stay focused.
All right. That's good parting words. So thank you, ma'am. I'm very glad you're here. But I will tell everybody, yes, we've been mentioning a lot of stuff, but I will put in the show notes how to get in touch with Shaina if this is a bigger conversation that you would like to bring to your organization, to your women's group, what have you, because I do think this is a pivotal time for us to start rallying the wagons and having those deep conversations about what we're really feeling and where we truly are going to go next. So take a look at that. If you have not already joined, I want to let you know that we do have a Melanated Midlife community where we are extending the conversations that are taking place in these episodes. If you would like to be a part of that community, it is free to join. You would simply go to bit.ly/MM community waitlist. That means Melanated Midlife, MM community waitlist. So go there, sign up, and I personally will be there to greet you. So thank you very much, Shaina Glass.
Thank you, Dr. Akila Willery.
All right.
This was fun.
Good.
I appreciate it.